I guess the whole criminal behavior thing is a bit of a family affair with Courtney, Clenney, and gang. We're going to talk about her parents' recent arrest in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's back there. Roscoe's on the sofa. I'm right here, and I'm in front of the sofa. My name's Paul. If you're new to the channel, and if you're not, well, welcome back to the sofa. So what today's video is going to be about is an update in the Courtney Clenney case. We will do a quick little overview to let everybody know the little nuts and bolts of the situation of the case before we get into it. We're not going to be reviewing any clips and whatnot in this. We will look at a couple of articles and whatnot though. So that's it. It's kind of a quick video. So, there's that. Enough to get, your cups ready kind of thing, because you will need it for this, okay? But other than that, we're just going to jump in. But if you do want to follow Roscoe and I outside of here, we're on Instagram, on the Instagram. And it's on your TV screen or phone screen, whatever you're looking at it on, as well as in the description. Be sure and anyways, let's go ahead and talk about that quick little overview. So Courtney Clenney is facing the big M charges for allegedly taking the life of her late boyfriend, Christian Abusele. Recently, more video footage showing Courtney completely being aggressive towards Christian when they were on a ski/photo shoot trip to Aspen came out. I did a video on it. We're not going into that now, but just know that more and more of these videos come out where she's like completely going off on this man. But an even bigger bombshell has dropped. Her parents have been arrested. So Kim and Deborah Clenney were taken into custody. This is from Austin, Texas. These warrants were out of Miami, Florida. Now let's talk a little bit more about the details and what we know of it right now. So they're each facing charges of unauthorized access to a computer. Authorities are saying that after the incident, the father obtained a laptop of Christian's from the apartment. Now there was like this group chat going on between the parents, the lawyers, and there's a list of potential passwords for the computer. And at one point, Kim texts the group saying one of them worked and the lawyers pumps the brake on him accessing it. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at an article and just kind of to get the nuts and bolts of a couple of pieces of it. So let's go ahead. We'll put those on the screen. You can read along with or, hear me talk about it. So on the screen, we have this article, and what it's showing is the text messages and whatnot. This is the attorneys to the parents, the parent, whatever. So just know that's the context of it. It says, when it comes to potential evidence, we always have to consider chain of custody issues and don't necessarily want to take risk something gets lost in the mail, Prieto told the group chat, according to the warrant. But hang tight, we'll make a decision by Monday. Continues on, I'm sure you guessed by me, sick prior text, we don't want you accessing files because the state attorneys could request their own independent analysis of the hard drive and accuse you of creating or modified files. Authorities said a text attributed to individual 2 Puglisi reads, that's why I wanted to put a quick pause on that. Obviously, I know you would not do that, but we want to maintain that credibility. Now, this would go on and continue for the father, stating that, he never saw anything, as well as Deborah discussing making plans to drop this computer off and how they could get it to him and all this kind of stuff. So in this group chat, there's like all this incriminating evidence of this access, being in possession of, having the laptop, all this kind of stuff, right? So it's all out there, okay? Now, the family attorney did release a statement. I'm going to put it on the screen and we're going to read it. It says, we're extremely surprised and very concerned about the arrest of the Clenney family. This could be an example of prosecutorial overreach and misconduct. It appears excessive in that the family is now confined in jail awaiting an extradition hearing on what may be an attempt to manipulate media headlines and discredit them before Thursday's scheduled hearing on a gag order in the case. The Clenneys have quite a story, and it's a story the state of Florida maybe does not want the public to hear. We believe the Clenney family has been targeted with some trumped up charges to discredit them in the press and make their lives miserable. It stinks of a power play by prosecutors to control the narrative. This Thursday, the state is seeking a gag order in the case. Now they've gone after Courtney's mom and dad in such a way that requires them to spend considerable time in jail without bond. Had they done this in Florida, the charge has a $5,000 bond, $500 to a bondsman, and that's it. It appears the prosecutors are going for media mileage in this one with little or no evidence, as we have yet to know what the true accusations are. It's unnecessary and distasteful. All they had to do was a phone call and we would have been in court. It's so inexcusable. And this is Frank Prieto, attorney for Courtney Clenney. Okay, Okay, so there's that. Obviously, now I'm filming this on Thursday, so this gag order here and whatever is going to happen today, depending on what happens, I'll do another video on it. If it's nothing that's really, major or whatever, we'll just continue on as normal. But here's the thing with this case. Now, if you have followed this case from the beginning, remember this took place. Courtney allegedly, takes the life. Well, it's not allegedly. She takes the life of Christian, but it's allegedly what for, right? Self-defense or whatever. That being said, she's seen on TikTok and all these other things of people confronting her at like the hotel bar with her dad, having a drink, and they're like, "You just killed your boyfriend," and she's like, "No, I didn't. He did it." And they're leaving, and video cameras have not been her friend, okay? But they're also playing a role in bringing justice for Christian, because in the very beginning, remember, some of the neighbors and stuff were like, "Well, I've seen him being aggressive and whatnot." Well, as footage has come out of how she interacts with him up in elevators, him up in Colorado, and I say him up, I mean, he's a big guy who can handle his own, but he also seems to be an extreme gentleman who understands he is way bigger. She's a female, right? And so she's coming at him with zero respect for him. I mean, he's preventing her from doing this in everything that I've seen. Okay, I have no doubt she is bruising herself up by just watching how she hits on him. I mean, just for her to hit him like this, I'm like, honey, you're beating yourself up. You know what I'm saying? By hitting on this man, he's huge. So what I have seen of it, okay, and again, I am on no jury, she hasn't gone to court, but she is the aggressor and everything. I understand at the end of the day, when it's your child who has done something like this, your natural parental instinct is, oh my God, that's my child. I 100% get that. What I would question in this, and again, I don't know because I'm not privy to it, I don't know these people, is at what point do you draw the line and start doing accountability? As the parents, and being like, look, whatever happened, she's in trouble. I do not believe that this was just out of the blue behavior for Courtney. I think that she is a very troubled young woman. Just seeing the meltdowns that she's having in these videos, and it seems like there's probably some substance abuse situations going on, but again, I don't know. But it just seems that she's in a state. It could be mania. I don't know, right? But I do not believe that she was fighting for her life when she took his life. I think she went off and she took his life, and I think the evidence will end up showing that. But again, she hasn't had her day in court. Now, this whole situation here with this, again, I'm not some lawyer, so I don't know how this works, but it's one of those things where it's like, if they have evidence and they're not supposed to have it, it's pretty cut and dry. Now, maybe the attorney's like, well, we could have just done a favor and done this and done that. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe they're being difficult. Because of course, my assumption is they're trying to fight and say, no, you're framing our daughter for something that she didn't do for the reason you're saying she did it. And they're probably not going to want to be that cooperative. And obviously, I mean, when you're in this stage of the game with things, they have lawyers. This is huge charges. She could go away for life, that kind of thing. So I can understand the survival instinct for a parent. So now that they've been locked up, it's just like, are you kidding me? Now, on a completely, absolutely nosy, none of my business level, how would Dad know what was on that laptop? I mean, I would have caught charges immediately. Okay, I'd be in there with parents, because when they pulled that out, I wouldn't have been able to help myself. Okay. But then too, when you think about it, like with the line of work she did, if that's your daughter, you really wouldn't want to look at, there's probably like tawdry stuff on there now that I think about it. But I have a feeling, just from what we've seen of people filming their interactions with all these police things, that there's going to be some very damning evidence on that laptop. And again, this is why I think it needed to be preserved, because you don't want her parents accessing like his stuff or her stuff and being able to go in and try and delete stuff. Now, we know forensics, they can get in there and find it, but nonetheless, you want the whole story to be truthfully told, because I think the story that's going to be truthfully told is that she was the aggressor in this, and she was always coming after him. Yes, he was choosing to stay there. I understand that, but these choices should not lead to the execution of someone, point blank, period. So, that being said, we're now going to follow the case of the parents, because imagine her when you're in this situation, you're like, they're your lifeline, and now they're locked up with charges. Imagine if it gets to the point where they're not allowed to talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could have these major implications to it. So again, we'll see what happens, we'll see where this goes, and we'll hopefully see justice play out in court one day soon. So, I appreciate you watching if you're still here. Roscoe says thank you. He also says, please drop little doggy sofas in the comment section. He'll skip on down, meander on down, and until we do all that and hang out on the sofa and talk, we'll see y'all soon.